Everything homemade!
Hi everyone, it's Rita with Everything Homemade, and I am going to give you a farm update. It is May 1st and look at those beauties. Remember last year I had said that I was going to plant bulbs in this flower bed. So right here there was some peppermint planted and spearmint, but they come up much later, so they won't come up for another month. And so I stuck in bulbs. Now, my husband didn't know I ordered them, my children didn't know, and so they are just in absolute awe at these little beauties coming up. I mean, how gorgeous is that? And you can see there's more coming up, and then there's another variety here. I ordered like 100 variety pack, just a mix. So I'm not too sure who's who yet. There's some more coming up. Some of these here I know should be like daffodils. And then here, this bed, if you look really closely, there's some more emerging. I did another variety. So what doesn't look like much of a bed right now is going to be beautiful in about a few weeks. So this is May 1st. Those flowers have literally opened up just today. Take a look, you guys. This is our yard. Remember in January I filmed how much snow we had? Well, spring didn't come until literally April 20th. It started to melt. So in the last 2 weeks, all the snow has disappeared. It's been unbelievable. That's why there's no leaves on the trees. It's May 1st. It almost looks like fall here. But let me tell you, spring has finally come. And look at the puddle in my cow's pasture. Like, this year, this year's not even as bad. So they've got lots of water here for now. They're kind of contained to this area just because everything's so wet. Everything's got to green up. They're eating there right now. I just gave them some hay. So they're doing well. Hey, Stella. So you guys can still see some snow around the parts where the sun doesn't hit as much. So let's do a farm update here. The cows, I'm milking once a day, so I'm just doing the morning. And because of all the runoff, we really almost hit a horrible snag on our farm. I mean, we had 4.5 feet of snow, everything covered, and when it actually finally began to melt, in one weekend, it literally let go. And this area here, what we found out, it's a bit of a low area, but we didn't realize how low this area was, and having this much snow, literally from the road, all this whole entire area was covered in 2 feet of water. It was flowing so fast. It was like a brook. It hit my goat fence. It was literally running here, right here. And I mean, my boots here, if you can see, the water level was like up to here. It ran through here, hit the dugout. The dugout was flooding. And then I was just praying and praying because my poor goats over here literally had like an island of like 4 feet by 4 feet. And I was pretty sure I would have to just literally tether them and walk them and tie them to a tree till my husband got home to save them from the water. But the bush let go on the other end and the water started flowing through. So these guys were safe. And we have literally dried up. So that was only a week ago. And look how much. I mean, there's still some water standing there, but it was unbelievable. We had flood warnings. A lot of areas flooded out. It was just a mess. Fortunately, things drained. So we learned our lesson that where our goats are right now, all need to move. So we need to move the goats as soon as Rose over there in the distance gives birth. I thought she would go beginning of April, but she is just getting bigger and bigger, and her udder is getting bigger and bigger. So literally I am waiting for her to go, and then we'll move her so it's a little less stressful. Chewbacca right here is a new addition. He's going to be our new buck. He's a Nubian. And Coco here, we are going to be raising him, and at the end of the season, he will be for meat. So that's a little change up there. So we made a temporary fence here to keep the bucks out of Rose's area until she gives birth. Then we're moving everything up on the hill into the bush where they won't have flooding ever again, have to deal with that. So that was kind of a scary week here. And since our animals are a livelihood, you don't want to start, lots of people have lost a lot of young due to the cold weather, due to flooding, due to being wet. So we're very fortunate all of this was underwater. So the raspberry patch is now not under snow. Remember how the snow was? The snow was like up to here. You could just see the tops. So that's all cleaned out. We got new little chicks. Remember I said I'm going to start brand new on my flock? Well, I'll show you exactly how they look. Just let me get in here. So this is a really nice outdoor run. It's hawk proof, cat proof, everything proof. And they're enjoying some loop food there. They're gonna little scurry and run. So we have this little hut, so it's windproof. There's a heat lamp there that you can see. And they're about 4 weeks, some are 5 weeks old. So they just got out here a week ago out of their inside run. So they're still adjusting. That's why I have the heat lamp on, to make sure they're not too cold at night, because we are still sometimes freezing at night. So they stay warm. And they're sheltered, so if it rains, they're sheltered, and they're sheltered from the wind. So this little hut works really, really good. And I have like 12 different varieties here. And I literally bought them from 3 or 4 different farmers. I also hatched out farmers some goose eggs for her. And so she exchanged those goslings for some more chicks. So we just bartered, got some chicks, and I'm really impressed about all the varieties here. So that'll be cool. Hey, Mrs. How are you? So in the last 2 weeks, we went from like having 2 chicken eggs a day to 12 chicken eggs a day to no duck eggs a day to all my ducks laying. I have 11 hens, so we get 11 out of 11 eggs. So our egg production has completely skyrocketed, which is absolutely wonderful. And I'm going to try something a little different this year as I show you our little farm. I'm going to water glass the eggs because we have so many eggs in the spring that I need them for the winter. So I'm going to water glass. If everything works great, I'm going to show you that on a YouTube video next year. But that's what I'm going to do, just like they did in the 1930s. And I mean, right now, in less than 2 days, I have over 24 chicken eggs that I don't technically need to use because we're having so many duck eggs. I had enough duck eggs that my incubator has 50 duck eggs, plus I have 6 goose eggs in there right now to incubate, which will hatch at the end of the month. I have a video on how to hatch eggs or incubate eggs. And so I have so many eggs. So I'm allergic to duck eggs, believe it or not. That's why we have ducks and chickens. So everyone eats the duck but me, so all the extra chicken eggs I'm going to save for the winter. So we don't have to put so much pressure on the hens. They don't even have to lay through the winter. They can just go dormant, take a break the way that God wanted them. And I've got eggs stored up. Guineas, that's a guinea there. Isn't she beautiful? Oh my word, they're gorgeous. Those are African geese. And there's about 17 guineas running around with the chickens, with the ducks. This is the way I love watching them. They're just like running around happy as can be. But what we want to do is the guineas should start laying end of May, June. So they're from Africa, so they lay a little later. And since I can eat guinea eggs too, any extra guinea eggs we're going to save. So we're going to have a stockpile of a lot of eggs for the winter. Then we'll give any extra lighting. We'll let the chickens just rest, just grow over winter, especially those 5 critical months. Give them a break. That way in the spring they go crazy when they're supposed to. So we're going to work with them more naturally. And that's the way I want to. So this is our compost pile, you guys. Nothing eats citrus. Well, nothing on my farm eats citrus. And so we dumped all the citrus, and what's happening now is throughout the winter from the loop food, and if you don't know what loop is, I'll put a little tag and you can watch the video, that it's gonna like get wormy and the chickens are gonna go nuts because they're gonna find worms, and it's just gonna really boost their diet. So this is stuff we couldn't use, that nothing eats on our farm, and we just dumped it here and they're gonna go nuts over it. So if you can hear that call, that's a male guinea. He's sounding the alarm. So this is just a wonderful spring. I literally, like Saturday, sat on that bridge right over there. I had my feet in the water and I just literally watched my birds run around among me, and it was just so relaxing. Absolutely relaxing. So this whole part here, this is where it runs through. This part here was as high as the bridge, comes through, and then runs off way back over there into the bush. So we're really fortunate to have good drainage. That little hut, it has about 8 goose eggs, so she's making a nest over there, so she'll eventually sit. And this guy who's sitting there, he's making a whole bunch of noise. What do you figure? Huh? So they have access to go in and out of their house for some more feed if they want to. So that's what's happening on the bird side of things. I mean, in about a month, again, I'll have ducklings. We'll raise ducklings again to butcher. I got to keep a couple of new ducks as I lost one over winter of my hens. And I also lost one to a bully geese, drowned her. I was really sad. So I gotta get a couple replacements. So just taking a look around. My kids are out looking and playing. I'll show you some other new life around here. So remember this flower bed. Not much you can kind of see, but there is garlic coming up. If you can see that little sprout right there, the little green sprouts, there's garlic all throughout here. The sage, I'm not sure yet if it is going to come back. The hyssop, definitely. There's some green right there. It is amazing that these plants overwintered at such a cold weather, but we have such good coverage on snow, saved all the new plants. More garlic. The wormwood definitely is coming back. I just don't want to walk there. That's her for deworming. The St. John's wort. Take a look. In 1 week, this has happened. All this new growth. The daylight, I mean, we're getting almost 12 hours of daylight now. My sherbet tree looks really good. New life is starting to move there. So that looks awesome since we planted that last year too. Let me see, get my eyes adjusted. That little sprout, right there. That is horseradish coming. Then everywhere where there's a spike here is rhubarb. So, and you can see some of it is coming back, and I just put a spike where I planted it. The middle is a flowering bush. Honestly, I forget the name to it. The day lilies are coming back. This is the walkway, still has some snow. Yeah, and look at that. The next surprise, a little bulb. This whole thing is covered in huge flowering bulbs also. Hear that, kids?
Yes.
That whole thing's gonna flower too.
Like that?
Yeah, no, but bigger. It's gonna be big. I think it was blue. Man, I planted so many bulbs.
Crocuses?
No, this is a daylily here. Hopefully it's gonna come back. I gotta clean that up. And then we got something here, and I think that's sorrel, I believe. That's coming back, which is awesome. First leaves, greens. And this bed makes me so happy, you guys. It was minus 50 here, Celsius. This is English lavender. It is survived. Look at all of this. If you say that English lavender can't be grown in a zone 2, well, this particular plant has never died on me, and I can't wait for it to spread its seed. It is so hardy. Unbelievable. Everyone here says you can't grow it, but I seem to grow a plant that survives winter. The tarragon. Take a look at the little sprouts. Oh, I love tarragon. I'm going to start cutting these off here soon. These are just some succulents stuck around. This is thyme. Again, more thyme. You'll see these logs. It was just to prevent my dog from digging. I know it doesn't look very pretty, but it'll go once the plants take off. Hens and chicks, the little succulents even survive. This is another variety of thyme. Another succulent. Another one there. Look how green. Like, this is 1 week after the snow has gone. Again, this is a beautiful lemon thyme. Absolutely delicious to eat. And then remember this bed. The Canadian Tire was throwing out tons of plants that they didn't care for. They looked dead. I brought them home, and there were succulents. This one, it's like some kind of a flea, or looks something like a daisy. I can't honestly remember. I have the little pieces of paper, but I can't remember the name. A beautiful, it's good for the bees. There's another succulent that they were casting. All of these were cast out plants. These are daisies. Another succulent. So all these succulents are going to go around the rocks. So this was a flower bed that I spent hours planting last year. Everything has come up. Everything. That plow we pulled out from the bush that we found at Orion on the farm. What are you learning this year?
How to keep bees.
Bees. So we have a neighbor that we have met through Loop because he picks up the used oil, and he's a beekeeper. And so Orion's heading there and learning about bees. So you're going there this weekend again, aren't you? And checking on the bees again. And he's teaching him. So next year, what do we plan to do?
Get 2 beehives.
Get 2 beehives. And who's going to look after that?
Me.
Exactly. And your mom is anaphylactic. So mom has basically washed her hands clean of beekeeping. But you, on the other hand, love bugs, love insects, so this is right up his alley. So he, this year, is literally going to shadow and learn from him and learn everything as he can. And it's just such an awesome thing for a neighbor to do, and teach him something that he absolutely, honestly cannot stop talking about it. I have to tell him to be quiet and let somebody else talk about it because otherwise he would talk forever about it. But he is having so much fun, and I'm really excited because it's such an important thing to learn. So we'll maybe next year pick up on that, show you what he's up to. So that's something else that is happening around here. The garden, on the other hand, well, the snow just melted. It's a mess. This is all coffee grounds. So in Loop, every week we get a new bag of coffee grounds. So we're going to spill that all over the garden. It is late in the spring already. So the kids are going to plant mostly root vegetables. We're going to get all this tilled up. They're going to plant root vegetables because the season is going to be short. We're still really cool at night, considering it's May. So what we're going to do is just get the root vegetables in, make sure there's lettuce, make sure there's that, carrots and red beets kind of thing, maybe some peas. But in all honesty, we are not going to do much of squash, cucumbers. I am not sure. We don't really have anywhere to start. Things are just in the infrastructure stage this year. So we'll see what exactly we're going to do here. We're looking at fencing the orchard. The orchard plants are coming in. They will be here May 14th. So we'll be planting. My husband has a big job of making me tons of holes in this area. So this area is going to transform into orchard. We've got 3 apple trees already planted. We have northern pears coming. We got cherry plum coming. We have grapes coming, elderberries coming, zone 2A blackberries coming. I mean, I'm going to be picking up haskell plants and get them going. We're going to be picking up sand cherries and Nat King cherries. So there is a ton of planting, and we're talking like 500 plus plants. So these 3 were planted last year. The plan is in between from here to here, I believe it's 20 feet, if I remember measuring last year, 20 or 15 feet. We're going to lift the sod, rent a sod cutter. So from here to the other side, we're going to make a row. And in between all the fruit trees are going to be strawberry plants or haskell. So the orchard is going to be completely transformed. The rows that you're going to walk, we're going to keep the grass. And that way we can run the ducks through the orchard. We're looking at fencing. We're looking at construction fencing, trying to get a deal on used stuff around here so it doesn't cost us so much. We have 600 feet to fence off. So needless to say, things can get pretty pricey. And so we're looking at trying to find the best option to prevent the deer, the elk, the bears, the dogs, from basically destroying all your hard work. This is south facing, so this part over here, this is a labor of love also. This will be part of the orchard or part of an expanded garden eventually. We have to kill all these roots. I gotta look in killing them naturally. But this, literally, we gotta kill all these roots, then take the pickaxe, pick them all out because we have no machinery here to do it, and make this worthy of planting. So that's a lot of work right there to do. The next thing is the pigs. Remember the pigs last year? They were here. They tilled this. This is where the sea buckthorn is going to get planted. Again, we'll kill some of these logs. I'm not worried about taking these ones out. I just want them dead so they don't sucker everywhere. We're going to plant this up, get it going. The sea buckthorn's going there. It'll also help with erosion control. So that's the What else is happening around here? So that's pretty big for this month, basically. We got hatching and ducklings coming and the orchard plants. I mean, remember I got a whole bunch of suckers, strawberry suckers, and I planted them in. There's about 200 strawberry plants. They all are coming up. So those will be the start in our orchard, and every year I'll keep runners and keep expanding our strawberry beds as we go. So that's how it looks around here right now for May 1st. You guys are probably all wondering, you know I'm pregnant. I will do a separate video and update you on the pregnancy part of things in a little bit also here. That's why I'm not touching on it at the moment. The other thing, just for you cat lovers out there, for this farm, we also built a catio out of chain link. So this is only accessible from the inside. There's the door, and there's a little cat door at the top. So they come out. No one's really out here right now because it's not really sunny. But there's a lot of cats that come out. So this is chain link from top to bottom. They can't escape at all. So this is for a little catio for our business of boarding cats. So actually they have somewhere to go outside to sun themselves, and that's their view, to listen and watch all the critters. Okay, you guys, I'm going to say bye, and I will see you in a couple of videos here, probably outside videos that we're going to be planting. I am also waiting for my sulfur to come in. They've had some shipment issues with sulfur coming to the store that I usually get my sulfur. That's why I haven't posted any mite control and flea control and deworming, because I'm actually waiting on more sulfur. So once that comes in, I will be doing that also. Take care, you guys. See you on the next video.